might benefit us to move, before free agency, opens potentially. Um,
Ryan Poles just met with the media in Indianapolis this morning, and as always, some juicy sound bites and gave out a ton of information. Let's get right into it. Ryan Poles did not shy away from the special opportunity that this team has this offseason. He said that the entire front office and coaching staff were jacked for this offseason, just like all of us fans are, and that they realize the situation at hand. They know how important this offseason is, and they are ready for the challenge. Poles also said that this team does have multiple needs, and the best scenario involves trading the number one pick and collecting more assets. This is common sense to most of us, but to hear the GM say what most of us fans feel is really refreshing. He said it's all about figuring out how far down they want to go. The team has a lot of needs, and Poles is looking to take advantage of that by acquiring some extra picks. He did mention that if a player stands out, it could limit their options of how far back they move. The most interesting thing that Poles spoke about today was him acknowledging that this pick could be traded before free agency and that it actually could benefit the Bears. We are only 13 days away from NFL free agency, and there's a real chance this pick could be traded by then. He said specifically that trading the pick before free agency could provide some benefits to the team. This would be huge. I will be ecstatic if this pick is moved in the next 2 weeks. Ryan Poles did confirm also that multiple teams have called and had conversations, but for right now, they're just starter conversations. But to anyone out there spreading fake rumors about Michael Pittman or other players in the trade packages, Poles said no players have been discussed or even details of the picks. That'll happen this week during the combine and after the combine. Poles seemed to leave the door wide open that a trade could be finalized very soon. He said the entire week at the combine is information collecting. You are collecting information on draft prospects, talking to agents about potential free agents or re-signing guys on the roster, and meeting with other GMs to lay the groundwork for trades. It's common knowledge that while trades aren't usually completed during the combine, that many past NFL trades have had the groundwork for those trades laid out during the NFL combine. Teams will begin putting together their draft boards and have team meetings to discuss the draft and free agency. One important note, though, is that Ryan Poles also said it is very possible that the Bears could land players when they trade the pick and not just picks. This is very interesting and could potentially be groundbreaking. Players used to be included in draft pick trades, but the last 15 years or so, it has not been a thing. Ryan Poles can change the precedent here and make a deal involving players and picks. He also has the benefit of weighing his options and looking at multiple offers for the number one pick. It's nothing but good news, honestly. Poles briefly mentioned what he was looking for in players on the defensive line. He said violence, length, and tenacity. He said the plan all along has been to move forward with Justin Fields. But when the team has the number one pick, they of course have to do their due diligence and at least check out the quarterbacks in the top of the draft. But he said he has spoken to Justin Fields and let Fields know how he felt about the situation, and he acknowledged that this offseason is all about surrounding our quarterback with talent and seeing that improvement from Justin. Fields showed superstar ability this year, and when Poles said he needs to be wowed by a quarterback in this draft class, he admitted that what he meant by being wowed were things that he saw from Justin Fields during the 2022 season. So Justin Fields has already wowed our GM. He showed superstar ability this year, but he just needs to get better in the passing game. That will come with the addition of more talent on this roster. But what can you take from what Ryan Poles said? Quite simply, Justin Fields will be the quarterback for the 2023 Chicago Bears. Take that to the bank. Reiterating, Ryan Poles has acknowledged that this team has a lot of needs, and a trade down for more assets is the best move for the franchise. He also acknowledged that players could be involved in the trade, and it's very possible that the pick could be moved before free agency. That's the biggest takeaway of it all for me, is that this pick could be traded within the next 2 weeks before we get to free agency. All three tidbits are very newsworthy and notable. I have always appreciated Ryan Poles' honesty and the way he approaches team building. He has a very sound approach, he's level-headed, and he doesn't let his ego get in the way. He is a value-based GM. This cannot be understated, and it's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this offseason. Also, Matt Eberflus spoke with the media as well. He gave away where the Bears are in the evaluation process. He said they have finished ranking and evaluating free agency, and they've spent the last week or so starting to put together their final NFL draft board. This is kind of how I've approached the offseason as well. I've looked at all the potential free agents, watched a bunch of tape and put together some free agent rankings, and then have begun digging into the NFL draft scouting. Eberflus and Poles both continued speaking about the flexibility and opportunity that the Bears have this offseason. It's a real thing. This is quite simply the most important offseason in Chicago Bears history. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's good to know that the coaching staff and front office understand this. Eberflus puts me to shame. He said he's written full reports on 60 plus free agents, and he will be doing the same thing for a lot more players in the NFL draft. They will be meeting with a ton of draft prospects over the next 3 days and conducting 20-minute interviews with each guy. They will gather a ton of information on players and lay the groundwork and parameters for potential trades. A trade could be happening very soon, guys. This is an exciting development, and I will have my eyes and ears open awaiting an announcement. News is rolling out. I have a free agency update coming later today with updates on Daron Payne, Aaron Rodgers, and some Bears free agent targets. Stay tuned for that. Remember to hit the like button for me. And until next time, bear down.
It might benefit us to move, before free agency, opens potentially. But again, when we get back with all the information that we've gathered from here, I think we'll have better direction. The draft, really interesting setup, a ton of flexibility to, take the best player at one or move and continue to add draft capital and get better, which is exciting. And then for free agency, the opportunity to have a little bit more ammunition than what we had last year allows us to bring in the right type of players that kind of fit what we're looking for and fit our culture. So again, we can keep moving the needle and winning more football games.